Hello all, good to see you. Happy hump day. Good morning, and good afternoon, of course, to everybody over this side of the pond. I hope you are having a good weekend. Our thoughts, as always, are still with everybody who is suffering because of the hurricane. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everyone is doing well. We're all thinking of you at the moment. Uh, As the thumbnail suggests, guys, we are going to talk games today. But before we jump right into it, let me say hello to everybody. So we've got Snorter Poopers Cuber. Hello and good morning. Kendra L. Good morning, honey. Good to see you. Rab Marshall. Good morning. Good to see you. Let's see who else we have got. We've got Camphor. Good to see you. Ren Zero. Hello as always. Good afternoon to Firefly and to Colin P. Smith. Good afternoon, guys. Good to see you. Captain James T. Skywalker. Hello. Good morning. Pod Racing Palpatine. Good afternoon to you. Good to see you. We have got the indomitable Bash Brothers. We've got Chris and Mark. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Dadman Walking 55, good to see you. Let's scroll up and see who else I've missed. D-Bud Martin, good to see you. Good morning. That 70s rock fan, good to see you as well. Good morning. Jim the Viking, good afternoon to you, hon. Let's see who else is here. I saw Kaylee. Good to see you, Kaylee, honey. Keely Chow, Roll Tide Keely. Good to see you. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anybody. You guys were busy today. Rookie Critic, hello. Good to see you, Rookie. And Larry, hello, love. Good to see you. I'm glad you're safe as well. We were thinking about you the other day. Let's see who else I've missed. Wendology, hello, sweetheart. And good afternoon. And Pod Racing Palpatine, good to see you as well. And Zax, good morning. Good morning, Zax. Good to see everybody. So, Mobile Recluse. Hey, good to see you. And Nearsighted Cyclops. Hello, sweetheart. Good to see you as well. So, as I said, today wanted to think a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun. And I know that there are a lot of people that love games. I love games. It's a great hobby. It's a fantastic way to pass the time, to have a little bit of an escape. And that's pretty much why we do it. Dave G Sound, hello to you. Good to see you. But I thought what we would do, this isn't going to be the ultimate list, because it's subjective. People like different games. But what I thought I would do is I will give you some of my favorites and tell you why I love them, why I go back to them, why I play them, why I love the franchises, why I love the characters. And what I really want to do is find out what you guys like. What you guys like to play. Are there franchises that you've stuck with the entire time? Are there games that you've just kind of picked out and just loved? And I've also got a list that we can kind of refer back to in case I forget any, because I have a tendency to do that. So let me jump straight into it and see what you guys are saying. So Jim the Viking says, I'll kick off with the great game franchises with the impossible to define game series called Space Rangers. It's a game with pretty much every game genre all in one. That is awesome. I love multi kind of crossover games. Pod Racing Palpatine brings up one of my absolute favourites as well, Skyrim. Yep, Skyrim, we are never going to get away from Skyrim. We are going to have Skyrim until the end of time. And I'm okay with that. Nearsighted Cyclops says, which games are we still playing? Years on might be a good measure. Absolutely. That is one of the factors to kind of define why they're your favourites. Is it a game that you've been playing for years and years? Is it a game that you've remember loving, that you've picked up recently and kind of realised why you enjoy it so much? Firefly says specifically when you're having a shootout in Red Dead Redemption 2. Absolutely. And as you can tell, I love the Rockstar games. They are some of my absolute favourites, and the Red Dead Redemption is, for me, the top of them. I love the Grand Theft Auto. I thought Bully was a great game also, but there's just something about the Red Dead games that really, really appeal to me. I love the characters. I love the gameplay. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually going to be my game stream. So that's the game I've picked. So fingers crossed, either I can do it. Well, I'm hoping to do it tomorrow, if I can get it to work. If not, it'll be in the next couple of days. Keely Chow says Grand Theft Auto. Yes, especially Grand Theft Auto 5. Such a good game. Fantastic. Pod Racing Palpatine says just put Skyrim on, stand in one area and listen to the ambient music. I do too. I periodically jump back into the game just to wander around because it is such a beautiful game. Let's see what else you're saying. Colin says, not a franchise, but one of the best games I've ever played was Mars Sports on the very old Sinclair Spectrum. That is awesome. Yep, there is no kind of cut-off point. You can go back to the Sega Mega Drive, which was the Genesis, I think, for you guys. Go back to the Master Systems, the NES, Game Boy, any games that you guys love. It doesn't have to be, console games. It can be PC games also. Let's see what else. So Nearsighted Cyclops says Fallout, GTA, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Skyrim are games I keep playing. Great list. Absolutely. And one of these days I will figure out how to pronounce your name correctly. Says be kind to animals in Red Dead 2. Hard mission. I love the AI in the Red Dead games, especially the intelligence that they gave the horses. They did so well with that. Campus says Einhander and the PSX. Nice. So let me ask you, before we kind of really jump into it as well, guys, are you PC gamers or are you console gamers? I kind of dabble in both. I'm more of a console gamer now because I don't have a particularly powerful PC, but I've always loved both, especially when it comes to the Diablo games. Can't go wrong with having Diablo on the PC. Phoenix Tangent says, I crave good stories and they seek them from JRPGs. A lot of people do. They absolutely love those games, and I know how big the RPG games are still. Project Storytime says you don't have Mass Effect on the thumbnail. Unsubscribed. I ran out of room. There was only so many that I could fit on, and it was my thumbnail, and I picked the games that I love, which is why Spyro's up there. Don't judge me. I have a soft spot for platformers. What can I say? Mark says, when the coup finally ends, I highly recommend finding a group and enjoying modern board games. Yes, that does look like a lot of fun. I know that's we've had a big resurgence in board gaming as well. There's a couple of places nearby where I live that's like a cafe, and there's board gaming as well. So that's something that I'd really like to kind of look into. And hello to Stig Kenobi. Good morning to you. So it's Ultima, Monkey Island, The Witcher, Might and Magic, Jedi Knight series, and Commander Keen. What a fantastic list. I haven't played Monkey Island in so long, but I remember it being a great game. And The Witcher, you can't go wrong with that, can you? I think that's why people had such high hopes for CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk, because it was so good with The Witcher, and they just kind of fell down and disappointed people. The excited Cyclops said, so Purple Valkyrie did not love Mass Effect? I didn't love Mass Effect. So Mass Effect is great. I also love the Dragon Age series. Fantastic games. I love the Bioshock games. Fantastic. I love some of the Assassin's Creed games. I thought Black Flag was a brilliant game as well. Some of them are very hit and miss. I think somebody else mentioned that earlier on in the chat. Not all of the Mass Effect, not all of the Assassin's Creed games are great, but when they get them right, they really do get them right. And Maxfield Von Priestley, hello, honey, says, hail, Purple Valkyrie. Great seeing you on Chloe's channel the other day. Thank you. Great to see you as well. Welcome to the channel. Brad Marshall said PS4. Haven't managed to get a PS5 yet. Same. And to be honest, I probably I'm not really kind of going crazy to get one. I know there's such a shortage of them, and they shouldn't be. But I'm happy with the PS4. I still think it's a good console. The next game that I'll be picking up would be the Diablo 2 remastered, which I'm really looking forward to. So that's something that's definitely going to take up a lot of time. God, you guys are going crazy today. Project Storytime says Dragon Age, you say? Maybe someone should work on a review. That is a very good idea, Project Storytime. You might want to put a pin in that. Wink, wink. Oh my gosh. Hello, legendary anime fan. And let me say that again. Legendary anime JP fan 2. Good to see you. He says I have all PlayStation. LOL. I loved the PlayStation 2. I thought it was one of the best consoles. And if you remember back in the day how many games used to come out for it, it was like every other month or every month there was a game that you absolutely had to buy, and you were saving up your pennies to get them back when they were like £30 over here. Renzura says Wipeout and the PS1 was awesome. PS1 had some fantastic games as well. I really, really miss having console, actual discs that you can put in. If I can get a hard copy of a game, I will get a hard copy of a game because I just love it. And I used to love getting the guides as well with the games. Those are fantastic. And do you remember having the games in the packets, and then you used to get the little booklet inside as well? Happy days. Right, let me pull up a list and we can go through some of these as well. So this isn't a definitive list by any means. This isn't my list. This is just some of the great games that have been listed from Maxim, and this one is actually listed by people who play games. I know, shock and horror, but who would have thought that gamers were the best people to put a list together of the best games? So for them, they've put Diablo series at number 30. Now, I love the Diablo games. Surprised that they went with a picture of Diablo 3, but we'll let it slide because I know most people think that's the weakest of the series. I know we've got Diablo 4 eventually on the way, but most people are most excited for Diablo 2 to come out and be remastered. So that should be a heck of a lot of fun. And I know Blizzard is in a lot of trouble at the moment, but I still love the games. They also listed Uncharted. Really liked Uncharted. Thought Nathan Drake was a fantastic protagonist. Love Nolan North. He's a great voice actor. He really, really brings his character to life. And these are just really fun games to play. Haven't played all of them, but I've played a few of them, so I know the character well enough. Let's see what else we've got. So we've also got Tetris, an absolute classic. Can't really go wrong with Tetris. Same with Pac-Man, going back. Anybody who used to spend any time at all in an arcade will probably cringe to think how much money you've sunk into these machines over the years. But that was part of the fun, trying to beat your high score, trying to beat the next person. And I still love the arcade games. One of the things I would absolutely love to have, and eventually would like to get, is an arcade cabinet. So that's on my wish list. Eventually, it will happen. Let's see what else we've got. Star Fox. Now, Star Fox, I was never the biggest Nintendo fan, so this one I kind of skipped over, I've got to admit, but I do know how popular it was. People love Star Fox. They love the piloting. They love the dogfights. They love the characters. And hello to Rod Thunderheart. Thank you, honey. He becomes a member. Let me scroll up and get that. A massive, massive thank you and a welcome to you. It was really good to see you this morning. Thank you so much. Stig Kenobi says the Diablo 2 remake is royally censored. They even got rid of the boobs on the statues in the background, did it? I know. Then we had that controversy with the Amazon character as well. I'm still looking forward to the game because I'm looking forward to playing it with people. That's the main draw for this. And Diablo 3, I played a lot solo, but Diablo 2 is all about getting together with people and playing. Chris, he says, "What? Actual gamers compiled a list, and not the so-called game critics? Oh my, indeed, people that actually played games and didn't want to play on easy mode." Legendary anime JP fan 2 says Pokemon is the number one in global. It is. I've got to admit, I have a soft spot for Pokemon. I love the games. I had red, blue, silver, and gold, I think, for the Game Boy. Just really fun games to play. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Hello to Makuba76. Good to see you. They say the Tales franchise. Good choice. Let's see what else we've got before I skip back to the list. There's going to be a lot of skipping back and forth through this, guys, so bear with me. Project Story Time says, "Back to work cleaning up all this water. Stay safe. I know you had a problem this morning, so I hope you're okay." Says, "But KOTOR is my all-time favorite game." Great choice. For me, if I was going to have to pick a franchise, it would be close between the Red Dead, but I think Legacy of Kain would just edge them out as a franchise because I adore these games. If anyone has been further back on the channel, you'll know how much I love them because I did a show dedicated to those games. Stick Kenobi says Fallout is a great game. 2-1 in particular. Fallout lets you become a porn star if you want to. Indeed. And I love games that give you the kind of leeway to pretty much be whatever you like. I think that's why I love Skyrim so much. You've got so much kind of freedom, especially if you use the mods, to basically make this game your own. You can use it as your own private kind of play sandbox, and that is so good. Let's see what else they say on this list. So we've done Star Fox. Let's scroll down. Bioshock, we did talk about. Love the look of Bioshock. Really fun games. And just when it came out, it was something different as well. Love the aesthetics of the game. So I think all of the Bioshock games are pretty strong. There isn't really any that are terrible. At least for me, I enjoyed all of them. They've also listed Resident Evil. Now, Resident Evil, I think, as they rightly say, it is the pinnacle of zombie games. The first couple were frightening, and they were meant to be frightening. You know, I think it was number 2 where you just get dropped as soon as the game starts into a group of zombies, and you either fight your way out or you get eaten. I know that the latest Resident Evil game has had mixed reviews. Some people really like it because they've taken the franchise in a different direction. Some people don't like it because it's too linear. There's not enough leeway to play. You're pretty much on a set path, and you can't really deviate from it. But I know a lot of people really like the kind of horror creepiness that they brought into it, and the characters were very popular, obviously. Coming in at 23, Call of Duty. Now, I've got to admit, I was never a massive Call of Duty fan, but what I did love when they brought it out and introduced it to the franchise was the zombies. I loved getting together as a group of 4 and just mowing down zombies and trying to do the Easter eggs. And that is a lot of fun. I haven't played the latest one. It's been a while since I've played, but that was my favorite part. I loved the campaigns as well, but I was never an online player, so it was either the actual story that I played or it was zombies for me, for Call of Duty. 22, God of War. Can't go wrong with God of War. We love Kratos. Obviously, on Loki's channel, we've done playthroughs of the God of War. Great story. Love the whole idea. I've got the newest one, obviously, on PS4, which I really enjoyed. He is a great character. And I dropped my mic. Let's see what else you're saying. Um, Jamalis, good to see you. Says actually not played Resident Evil Village. I'm too poor. I've heard mixed things. Like I say, some people really liked it, some people didn't like it. I watched people do a playthrough of it, and it looked like it was fun, but it didn't look like it was a Resident Evil game to me. It looked more like a generic horror game. So some people really liked that, some people didn't. Pod Racing Palpatine. E.T. for the Atari was the cyberpunk of its day. It really was. And I remember the urban legend where there was supposed to be a landfill out in the desert somewhere just filled with the E.T. cartridges that people didn't believe actually existed, and it turns out it was actually true. I'm pretty sure there's a documentary about it that's really worth watching. So I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see what else you're saying. Stig likes City Builder games a lot too. The Settlers games, it's very relaxing just to sit there and build villages. I've never played any of those kind of games, but I really like the theme park world games. I love to build the theme parks. I find that quite relaxing as well. And if you want a kind of really beautiful, relaxing game, I would also recommend Subnautica. It looks great, plays great, as long as you don't mind deep water. I know some people really don't like that. Jemana said, good to see somebody has a love for the Legacy of Kain games. Oh, I do. I am a massive fan. If I could get a good remake of Soul Reaver, I could die a happy woman. It could happen. It's unlikely, but it could happen. Ren Zero says Commodore versus Spectrum, Amiga versus Atari, Sony versus Sega were there for all of the wars. And Phoenix Tangent says Purple Valkyrie is a Purple Valkyrie in Skyrim. I did make my own character and she's a redhead, so maybe. But I tend to use archery when I play Skyrim because I really like the way they did the archery. Makuba brings up a really good one, the Wolfenstein series. Yes, great games. Love those games. Wolfenstein, Doom, can't go wrong with either of those franchises. There's just something very cathartic about just blowing away hordes and hordes of enemies. And Rogue Disney, good to see you. Welcome. And Borgporg, hello, good to see you as well. It says, I've always loved the Mega Man franchise. Very underrated. I hope they make an upgraded version. That would be cool. I know a lot of people have a real kind of soft spot for the Mega Man games. I know how popular a character he is. So that would be great as well. Let's see what else we've got. Ren Zero said, yep, Atari buried those. Yes, they did. I'd actually like to have one just to say that I own one. I think that would be pretty cool. I don't have an Atari, but I'd quite like to own the ET game just to say, yeah, I've got one. The first God of War is easily my favourite, followed by the PlayStation 4 game of the same silly name. Yeah, it should have been God of Thor. Yeah, that confused me the first time I saw it. I thought, is it a remake? I mean, obviously it's not a remake, it's a continuation of the story. But yeah, they could have done themselves a favour and given it a little bit more of an imaginative title. Because I think it did confuse people. Phoenix Tangent says the landfill was in New Mexico. Thank you. I thought it was. I knew it existed because, like I say, I remember there being a documentary about it because it was one of those kind of urban legends that floated around for a long time until it was actually proven correct. Nerdporial Lifeform, good to see you. Says Super Metroid is the best SNES game. Absolutely. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Metroid is currently my favorite series, and I go crazy when they announce new games because they're rare and delightful. How good is it to have a favorite franchise and then have another game come out and to be able to look forward to them? I really, really miss that. Like I was saying earlier, I remember back in the day when we had, the earlier consoles, and it seemed like every month, every other month, there were these fantastic games coming out that you just had to buy. And I really miss that. Um, Even though I'd love to play games, it's been probably about 6 weeks since I've played anything. One, I just haven't had time, and two, I'm just going back to older games. Um, Pod Racing Palpatine says Prince of Persia. That's a great series. Oh, Renzura says Final Fantasy is one of my all-time favorite game franchises. You are among good company with that. There are so many people within this community, within this fellowship, that love the Final Fantasy games. I've got to admit, I'm kind of a newcomer. I've played some of them, but I haven't played all of them. Um, but I know just how much people love these games. Uh, let's see. And Jamalis said the documentary is Atari Game Over. Can watch for free online. Highly recommend it. I highly recommend it as well. Thank you, Jamalis. Much appreciated. Let's jump back and see what else they're saying. So, Kirby, they've put at 21. Now, Kirby, I've got to admit, I've never played. Like I said, was never kind of, other than the kind of Game Boy and GameCube, wasn't a big Nintendo fan, even though I really like Mario. I think he's a fantastic character. But as they point out here, he is a badass in the Smash Bros. And I know how popular the Smash Bros. Games are. Um, just a lot of fun just to have all of these characters that you know and love just to go up against each other. And here we go. Mass Effect coming in at number 20. Um, I know the most recent game has been absolutely torn to shreds, and rightly so. But up until that point, the Mass Effect games were great. You had so much kind of choice with how you portrayed your characters, what decisions you made. It was so refreshing to be able to basically play your own character throughout these games. So, would highly, highly recommend Mass Effect if you like these games. Um, They've got Kingdom Hearts at 19. I've got to admit, I was never a big fan of the Kingdom Hearts games. I think I only ever played one, but I remember what a big deal it was when it was announced, with the crossover between Square Enix and Disney. On paper, it was like a match made in heaven because you get all of these fantastic characters in one game. And I know the games looked great, but I only ever played the first one, if I remember correctly. What else have we got? Tomb Raider at 18. Who doesn't love Tomb Raider? Pretty much one of the games that everybody played when it first came out. Everybody had Tomb Raider because it was something different. We had a female protagonist um, who was extremely popular, shall we say. And it was just something different. And I do remember the pixelated pointy boobs as well. But they were just fun games, and I remember how frightening the T-Rex was when it's chasing you. That was weird. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Good to see you, TZ Canadian. How are you doing today? Let's see what else you guys have said. Nerdportal says Legend of Zelda is my other favourite franchise. No doubt that will be on the list. I'm pretty sure that's going to be further down though. Mobile Recluse says Ratchet and Clank. I really like the Ratchet and Clank games, I've got to admit. For me, if I was going to pick a platformer, it's Spyro. One, I love dragons, always have done. I pretty much have all of the Spyro games. I know they're kind of kiddie, but I just find them a lot of fun. Really, really great platformers. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Mark says, let's not forget Dragon Age and Final Fantasy. Absolutely. Two fantastic franchises. I loved the first Dragon Age game. Second one, not so great, but they did kind of redeem themselves with Inquisition. And Final Fantasy, like I said, I don't think there are many people out there that do not like the Final Fantasy games, or at least some of them. Let's see. Kendra says, has the Chocobo theme playing in the head? That's going to be stuck in my head as well for the rest of the day. Nerdporial says old school Mario Kart games were surprisingly good, pure games. They were. I really like the Mario Kart games, and again, just fantastic games to play with people. And I think that's what we need more of. Let's see what else. Let me scroll down. Renzero agrees. Mario Kart was fantastic, absolutely. And also, Tony Hawk's was good in the beginning. I know a lot of people that really love the Tony Hawk's games. Now, for me, I'm not a big kind of sports game player. I was never into the FIFA games. I was never really into the Madden games that you guys have, but I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people love the manager games as well. So I will never take that away from anybody who loves that style of game. Just for me, it just wasn't anything that really caught my attention. Deadman Walking says, at least nowadays you can save your progress. The days before saving were horrible. Can you imagine these game journalists trying to play games that you couldn't save or play on easy mode nowadays? It just wouldn't happen, would it? Yeah, that was back in the day when you had to get good, and it taught you how to persevere with a game. Borg Porg says, I love the Double Dragon games. Absolutely. Never played them, I've got to admit, but I know a lot of people do. What else did I play that was fun? Legend of Dragoon. That was a fantastic game, I remember. And one that's actually really hard to find nowadays, if I remember correctly. Mark says Mario. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Kendra says Purple Valkyrie, none of that. The FIFA Madden game age either. Yeah. For me, it just wasn't something that I could get into, but I know they are very, very popular with a lot of people. It's probably because I'm not a really big sports fan. I think that's what it is. Let's see what else they've got on the list. So we talked Tomb Raider and Lara Croft's pixelated pointy beeps. Then we've got Street Fighter. Now, Street Fighter, we had Tekken, we had Mortal Kombat, and if you want to go back even further, we had Streets of Rage. No, I always like Street Fighter, I've got to admit. That was probably one of my favourites. It's one that I still play occasionally. I played Tekken a little bit, but I kind of fell away from it, and I played Mortal Kombat as well. So Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat were my two go-to kind of fighting games. And as they say, without Chun-Li in our lives, we don't know what we'd do. Absolutely. So down at number 16, they've put Assassin's Creed. Now, this series, I know as a whole, it is very, very popular, and there are so many of these games. Some of them are great, some of them not so much. I've heard mixed things about Valhalla. It was one that I was actually really excited to play, so I might pick it up just to see what it's like. The last one that I really enjoyed was Black Flag. I thought that was a great game. And Mark says, I miss LAN parties as well. Oh, I remember those. Yep. Just set up a row of tables and just kind of sit back to back with your computers. That was fun. Let's see what you're saying. Let me scroll up and get your other comment. Where is that comment? Because I just saw it. There we go. Rod Thunderheart says, not a good choice. Why skip the trilogy? Pete, good to see you, Pete. He says Time Splitters. That's one that doesn't come up very often. Absolutely. You don't see that one. Let's see what else we've got. Ned Poriel says Super Mario 3. You could not save your game when it first came out, and that game was long. Renzira says football management games were great until they became your whole life. Yeah, I know a lot of people really gonna get sucked into them. I know I've had friends that are absolutely obsessed with these games. It's just something that I could never get into. Pod Racing Palpatine says, not a franchise, but Gauntlet was a great game to play with friends. Never played Gauntlet, I've got to admit. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Let me scroll down. Cussing each other out at the Warcraft LAN parties. Oh my gosh. And obviously we haven't got to it yet. It's probably on this, but World of Warcraft. I know it's kind of fallen out of favour now, but I remember, back 10 years ago, just how popular World of Warcraft was. People were obsessed with this game, and rightly so. Let's see what else we've got. Renzira says the Doom LAN parties were the best. Booze and shooting. And the Pro says I just streamed the Donkey Kong Country's games, all three the last weeks. Nice. I've noticed a lot of people are going back to kind of retro games, and it is great to see. I know people have been playing the Castlevania games, people have been playing Doom. It is really, really cool to see people picking up games that they remember and love and sharing it online. I've got to admit, I really do enjoy the games, watching the games. Rod Thunderheart says he was the biggest Tekken fan. I like Tekken, but I've got to admit, just for me, Street Fighter just edges it out. And I obviously loved the characters. Renzero points out that World of Warcraft 10 years ago was an entirely different game and community. It was, yeah. It's not what it once was, which is a shame, but I do remember just how much people loved playing and how much it took over people's lives. People would play for hours on end. I had friends that would get off work and just spend the entire weekend, Friday night till pretty much early hours of Monday morning playing World of Warcraft. Mark says, turn in your gamer card or go find a copy of Gauntlet and play. I will, I promise. I've heard great things about it. It was just one of those that just passed me by. That was all. It wasn't that, I didn't have any interest playing. But I will find a copy and I will play, I promise. Mobile Recluse says The Last of Us 1 and 2 made me lose sleep for several days. I really liked The Last of Us 1. I thought it was a great game. I gotta admit, I didn't play the second one because of the controversy, because of the direction they took the game. It didn't appeal to me. I didn't want the great memories that I had of the first game kind of being sullied. But I would never take away anybody that enjoyed both games. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Mark says Legend of the Red Dragon Inn was the best text-based BBS games ever created. Oh, I remember text-based games, yeah. If you told kids that, there were text-based games, they'd just stare at you and not understand what the hell you were saying. Let's see what else we've got on this list. So, Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot, it was okay, but like I said, if I was going to go for that kind of kiddie game, it was still Spyro for me, even though I did like the game. So we had like the Ratchet and Clank, we had Crash Bandicoot, we had all of those. They all came out around about the same time, but I'm really glad to see that they were franchises that stayed and that people really enjoyed. 13, we've got Donkey Kong. Now, people love the Donkey Kong games. I remember the arcade games. It was great. So, Mega Man at 13. People were talking about that earlier in the show. I know people absolutely love these games, and if we do get another Mega Man, I hope it's as good as the fans deserve. 12. Metroid. Everybody remembers Metroid, and everybody remembers what happens at the end of the game. But when the character takes off the helmet and it's revealed that you've been playing as a female the whole time, and absolutely nobody cared because she was such a good character. Uh, it's one of those franchises that has stayed strong, that the fan base has still loved. And as it says here, we don't mind in the least if Nintendo keeps giving us excellent Metroid games. We're sure as you keep playing them. And that's all that anybody wants at the end of the day. They don't want to be lectured to, they don't want to be pandered to. We just want good games. Same with any other entertainment. So now we're getting into the top 10, guys. We've talked about it earlier. Fallout. Um, I know people really love the whole post-apocalyptic Fallout games, and I do too. They were a lot of fun. Great characters, great designs, and a really great use of, as they point out, dark humor and music. Music was such a big part of these Fallout games. Number 10, we have got Metal Gear. I know how much people love the Metal Gear games. I was never a massive fan, I've got to admit. I know, sue me. Um, but let's have a look, see what they say. So it's almost a soap opera story, more twists and turns. uh, great game. And I know it has such a big fan base. Number 9, Mortal Kombat, of course, again. Never won the beat 'em ups, but this one was kind of pushed the boundaries because of the brutality that was brought in. People loved the gore, they loved the violence, they loved the finishing moves, and they loved the characters. Let me jump back, see what else you're saying. Chris Purse just said, yes, Mortal Kombat. Get over here. Let's see. And Stig says, I can't play games with an anime art style. Don't know why. The style just annoys the heck out of me. That's okay. But Pete Cat says, oh, Prince of Persia inspired a shed load of games, i.e., God of War and Assassin's Creed. Indeed. That's a game that people forget is how old it is, really, how long this franchise has been around. Nerdporial says Fallout before Metroid. Bullcrap. Well, that's the great thing about this list. We can argue it. Like I said, this isn't my definitive list. This is just a list that I wanted to kind of go down because I knew they had some of the best ranked games and because it was ranked by people that actually play games. But for me, I'm probably thinking my favorite game isn't even on the list where I haven't seen it yet, and I don't think it's going to be in the top 10. But that's okay because I still love them anyway. Rogue Disney says the Tenchu series is underappreciated and needs a modern game. I guess Ghost of Tsushima is as close as we will get. Now, Ghost of Tsushima is a brilliant, beautiful game. It's one that I picked up. I haven't played it yet, but it is on my to play list, and I am so looking forward to playing it. Let's see. Dadman Walking says, in high school, some friends of mine would go all day Saturday and into Sunday playing the board game of Axis and Allies. Good thing we couldn't drink then because there were enough arguments and fights. And Kendra says, I walked Desolus. Nice. And hello to Darfan Good morning, honey. She says, I'm at work, but I have to pop in to make sure Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell is represented. Hail all and back to work. Have a fantastic day, hon. I hope you have a good one. And absolutely, Tom Clancy, another fantastic franchise that people adore. Rod Thunderheart says, Purple Valkyrie, have you played either Final Fantasy VII or the PS4 remake? I have played the PS4 remake. I haven't played the original, or if I did, it was a very long time ago. But I have played the remake. But what I'm actually going and doing is going back and playing the the older Final Fantasy games, because I know how much they mean to people. Nearsighted Cyclops says, in World of Warcraft, I was a rabid tank. Game started to feel more like a job than a game. Yeah, yeah. When you're carrying the whole team, I can fully get that. I kind of had that when I played Elder Scrolls Online. I used to play as a kind of medic character. You were forever just helping your other players because they would just run on ahead. So you couldn't really get involved yourself. All you were doing was sitting back and helping and kind of keeping your team alive as best you could. I know that was the whole point, but it uh, could have done with a little bit more back and forth with the other players. Firefly says, right, I'm off. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and thanks for a great show. You have a good day, Firefly. Have a good one. Much appreciated. Let's get back to this. So we've done Mortal Kombat, Sonic the Hedgehog. Love Sonic the Hedgehog. Another one of those games where you couldn't save. So if you messed up, you were straight back to the beginning. I remember just how popular Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was. I love Sonic. I actually really liked playing as Tails. I thought Tails was a great character, and I know a lot of people were kind of weren't as keen on him, but I thought it was pretty cool. Coming in at number 7, of course, is Halo. Everybody had the Halo games. It was such a phenomenon. Again, similar to Destiny that came out much later. It was one of those must-have games at the time. People loved getting together and playing Halo as a group. It was such a big deal to play the multiplayer. And as they say, Master Chief's outings are always incredible as the campaigns tell the ongoing story of a galaxy under siege and inevitably come with some of the most popular multiplayer shooting you'll find on a console. I absolutely agree. People love the multiplayer side of this, and I can absolutely see why. Coming in at number 6, it is Elder Scrolls. Um, I know pretty much everybody will have played Skyrim at some point. Loved Morrowind, loved Oblivion. Wasn't keen on Elder Scrolls Online. I can see where they were going with it, but I think they missed the mark. I think it was just too ambitious for them. I know there is Elder Scrolls 6 on the way. When we will get that, I don't know. I'm just really hoping that they get a new in-game engine, because the current engine that they're using is just not powerful enough for what they want to do with these Elder Scrolls games. And it's been so long, and we've had so many, iterations of Skyrim. We've now got another one coming out, just to tide people over. I think people really want another Skyrim-based game, but bringing it to the next level. And I really hope that they do that, because I'll buy it. Mark says they missed me. I was in Elder Scrolls Online. Nerporial says Elder Scrolls 6 will not be here for another 4 years. Starfield is Todd Howard's next bug-filled game. Yeah, I'm very skeptical about the next Elder Scrolls game, unfortunately. I hope that they don't rush it. I hope that they take their time with it, because this game will make or break the company if they get it wrong. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Hello, Arwin. Good to see you, honey. She says, hey, y'all. Purple, sorry, missed most of the show. Had something need to take care of. That's okay, honey. I hope you're okay. Hope everything's good. And Colin says, played from Daggerfall onwards, but never been into online games. Stig Kenobi agrees Daggerfall is the best Elder Scrolls game. I think people forget, again, with the Elder Scrolls, just how long we've had these games around. Kendrell says, I love Tails. I did too. He was so cute. Pod Racing Palpatine brings up two that I love as well. Borderlands and Destiny 1 were great games to play with teams. I love the Borderlands games. I even loved the pre-sequel because it was just fun to play. Was it the greatest game? No, but it was still fun. And hello to our other derelict. Good to see you. It says, hello there, Purple Valkyrie. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, and the Ocarina of Time are most excellent. That I would agree with. And I know people absolutely, time and time again, if you say to someone, bring up your top 10 games, at least one of those games will be in that list. Great choices. Let's see what else we've got. Mark says, I'm in the middle of Baldur's Gate 1 and having fun with it. Baldur's Gate games were fantastic as well. Again, similar vein to the Diablo, but really fun to play. Now, I used to play Diablo as a group, but I used to play Baldur's Gate solo. Don't know why, it's just the way I did it. Let's see what else we've got. So we've done that. We've got the Grand Theft Auto. Now, that's one that you guys were talking about before the show started. GTA, people love as a series. Again, you can't really go wrong with Rockstar. They're probably one of the few game companies that have steered clear of controversy. I know a few people have tried to kind of cancel them because they say that their games are too male protagonist orientated. I don't care. They have fantastic characters. They are fully developed. They are characters that you have a connection with. And the GTA games are a really great example of that. Open world, again, you can mod them if you like. I know a lot of people do, but that just makes it even more fun. And it's one of those games that you can dip in and out of. You can play through it all together, and then you can go back and just be silly, which makes it even more fun. Number 4, of course, Mario Kart. We've talked about Mario, and I know that this is probably the most popular that they do. From the earliest iteration on the SNES all the way to Nintendo's remake on the Switch, Mario Kart shell-littered tracks were a playground for us early on, and people still love these games. And it says, even now, taking on friends in 3 laps of the Rainbow Road and winning are some of our biggest life accomplishments. Or maybe it just feels that way. Coming in at number 3, we have Super Smash Bros. Again, people, I think we mentioned it a little bit further back in the list. People just love these games. What's not to love? You can get your favorite characters from Nintendo and just duke it out. Number 2, of course, Legend of Zelda. As mentioned just in the chat, people absolutely love these games. And I think for any gamer, they would probably at least we'd have at least one of these games in their top 10. For me, I would probably say Ocarina was probably my favourite. And coming in at number 1 for this particular list, not one, as I said, that I would agree with, but this is what they've ranked. It is Super Mario Brothers. Probably, everybody recognizes Mario. Everybody knows the Super Mario Brothers, and it's a reason why Nintendo has done so well over the years. Who'd have thought that a little plumber would still be going for so long? But it's because they've branched out and they've done different things. They've done the Smash Brothers, they've done the racing, they've done, as they say in this, the golf and tennis. Mario is a character that people absolutely love, and rightly so. So let me skip back and get rid of that. So a lot of games that they've listed, but not one that I would really agree with. Pod Racing Palpatine brings up a great one. Oops, I'll get that in a second. Renzero says, Miyamoto's genius is what Mario and Zelda are. Absolutely. Whoops. I've lost it. There it is. Pod Racing Palpatine says the Batman Arkham series. I would have the Batman Arkham series in one of my top 10s because I love the games also. So much fun. And when they introduced the free flow combat, that was kind of a game changer for me. Renzero says no Final Fantasy. It was on the list. It was on the list, I promise. Let me see. I'll scroll back up and tell you where they actually put it. But it was definitely there because we talked about it. They put it at. I thought they would have put it higher, I've got to admit. But they put it at. Where did they put it? I'm sure they put it because we were talking about it earlier. Well, I'll find it in a second, but I agree. Yeah, Final Fantasy is a fantastic game series, and it's why I put it in the thumbnail because I know people absolutely love the Final Fantasy games. Let's see what else you guys have got to say. Hello, Cam. Good to see you. It says, hi, Purple Valkyrie. Thanks for the interest in this. Busy, but wanted to say thanks and hi to everyone. Hi to you too. Project Storytime says Mario is probably the single most famous video game character. I'm okay with it being number one on this list. I am as well. If you're going by, ranked, I guess. I mean, there were so many different ways you could rank it. I had another list that I thought about using, and basically they ranked it via longevity, quality, sales, and cultural impact. Now, if you go by that particular list, I can see why Mario would be so high up on the list because he is he's part of our culture now. Let me just scroll down, just out of interest, see what they put at number one. So they put Final Fantasy at number 2, and they also had Mario at number 1, just for that particular criteria. Legend of Zelda was 3rd. We had Street Fighter at 4. Pokemon came in at 5. Tetris was number 6. EA Sports as a whole came in at number 7. We had Warcraft at number 8. We had the Doom franchise at number 9. Pac-Man came in at number 10, and Halo on their list was 11 for that particular criteria. But like I said, these lists and what people love are subjective. Games that I love weren't even mentioned, but that's okay. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Pod Racing Palpatine says Hungry Horace, and Horace goes skiing, and Horace is the spiders. Horace is a legend. Deadman Walking says, don't forget they come out with updated games during every Olympics. They do. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Stig says, I remember one of my younger cousins nagging me about playing Mario. I had a PC and no Nintendo. Wasn't doable. Plus, he had snot from his nose all the way down to his chin. Bad memory. Yep, that's kids for you. Renzira says that sounds like a more accurate list in my opinion. Yeah, that one was a little bit more. It's a little bit more condensed, obviously, because they only did a top 11. I don't know why they did a top 11. They may have as well have just done a top 10. But the criteria that they went by was a little bit more kind of condensed. Like I said, it was the longevity, how long the franchises have been around, how long it's been relevant, quality, how many great games are within this franchise. They didn't have things like the Assassin's Creed because some of the games are hit and miss. We've had some great games, but we've had some pretty lackluster games as well from that. Sales, how much revenue, which is why games like the Pokemon series was so high up on the list. And then the last one was the cultural impact, how much of an impact has it had, not only on, people as a whole, but on individual players. How much does these games mean to you? And Project Summertime says, yes, Electronic will ruin that brand just by purchasing it. Arts, indeed. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Stig says Forbidden Forest on the C64, first proper horror game. Scared the crap out of me. I literally have not pooped since the 80s as a result. Oh my god. I had the same thing when I played Shadow Man. I have a love-hate relationship with that game. Colin says, it also depends on what people like. For example, you would have to pay me quite a bit to play a sports ball game, so none would appear on any list that I did, whereas somebody might have only those. Exactly. Which is why I wanted to kind of do this show and get your opinions, guys, today, because I know just how much these things mean to me and how much they mean to you. And everybody would have a different list, and I love that. Kaylee, hello, honey. She says Assassin's Creed is one of my favorites. Absolutely. And Makuba says, although not a franchise, you should try A Plague Tale of Innocence. I have. Love that game. Really, really clever game. And I like indie games as well. You know, some games that people probably wouldn't think of. So guys, I would highly, highly recommend not just playing, you know, the big franchises, but kind of branch out and play. And I know games like Fortnite are extremely popular as well. So pretty much anything that people enjoy, I don't think you can go wrong with. Oh my gosh, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a absolute blast to get to chat with you. Love talking games, and I'm so glad that you guys do too. Down the line, might do a part 2, and I'd love to get a few more of you on just to kind of do maybe a top 5 and just talk about why we love games so much. So that would be a lot of fun if anybody would be interested. But a massive, massive thank you to everybody who joined today. A huge thank you to Mexican Iron Man for letting me join him earlier. Had a wonderful time getting to chat with him. You guys are the best as always. Massive thank you to Rod for joining the channel. Welcome to you. Big thank you. Guys, have a wonderful rest of the day. I will be back on Friday. I think, like I said earlier, what I'm going to do a little bit more research today and tomorrow, make a really kind of detailed list, and I think we're going to talk Twilight Zone. I'm going to talk about why it's such a fantastic show, some of the best episodes, and why I would recommend it to people. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'll try and be on camera as well, because I haven't done that for a while. So guys, have a wonderful day. Massive, massive thank you to everybody who joined today. You are the best. Check on everybody, make sure everybody's okay. And that's all I ask for you guys. And stay safe. And remember, Purple Valkyrie loves you, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Mwah.